Cuevas, but I love saying Jorge, so he's awesome. He specializes in how to sell a home before it ever hits the MLS. So this is going to be really awesome. You guys are going to get a lot of information. He actually started as a realtor, and obviously being a realtor, what's the most important thing to generate business as a realtor? Networking, marketing, right? If you don't market, yeah, you have to sell the houses, but if nobody knows about you, then you will never be able to sell their house. So marketing is extremely important as a realtor, and Jorge found the formula on how to sell a home before it hits the MLS. So please, put your hands together for George Cuevas.
Thank you. All right. Are you all ready to do some training?
Yeah.
That's what I came here to do. Josh was just telling you what I did before, and it's a little bit relevant because is it okay to swear during these things?
Yeah.
The problem in real estate today, and the real estate agent side, and everyone in here has to use a real estate agent at some point, right? Is that real estate agents do not know how to adjust and adapt into a new marketplace that we live in today. When I first got into this business 20 years ago, I started working I did new construction. I was a project manager, and I built subdivisions. And during the week, I rode around a pickup truck, and I managed all the trades. And then on the weekend, I worked the sales trailer of the subdivision of the homes that we were building. So it was a great experience to see both sides of that. But that was 1996. And in 1996, we didn't have these things. Like there was a phone, but it was like a flip phone, and it would cost you like $200 to get 100 minutes out of it. So it wasn't practical. But now we have so much information available to us today on these little devices. Now that's important to know because we're going to have a class here about marketing. And when we talk about marketing, there are no secret sauces. There's no ninja tactics. There's no magic fairy dust about it. Marketing is just one simple thing, and that is just communications. That's it. Marketing is about creating awareness for what you have to sell or what you have to offer, but it has nothing to do with selling. It's the exact opposite. It's helping somebody make the decision to buy something. That's what good marketing is. So we're communicating. And what happens with real estate agents is that they don't know how to communicate in a digital world. What they want to do is even the ones that just got into the business, they want to do a hardcore sell. They want you to give them their listing, or if you're a buyer, they want to start working with you, but they want you to just give them a listing, and then all they want to do, though, is put the sign in the yard, put it on the MLS, take pictures with their iPhone, and then maybe make a flyer and wait for the traffic to come in. And then when it does come in, they give you the offer, and then they want to be congratulated, and then wait, and they schedule the closing, and they feel like they have sold the house. But that's not really what marketing and selling a house is about today. That's the way it used to be. It was much simpler back then. There was a time when if you were a buyer, you would go to the local RE/MAX of the town you were looking for a home in. So if you wanted to live in Orland Park, Illinois, you would go into the phone book, or you do a drive-by to the RE/MAX or the Century 21 or the Coldwell Banker, and then you walked in. Or you called and you said, "Hello, I'm looking for a real estate agent. Can you help me find one?" And they would say, "Yes, I can." And that's it. It would just get started right there. And there would be realtors who would get floor time. Floor time was huge, especially on the weekends. And they would sit there and they'd wait for people to come through the door or for people to call. And they'd wait. And they'd wait, and people would call and come through the door. And that's the way we sold back then. But now, because of those little devices and the internet, now all that is like in a time warp upside down. And this is important for a real estate investor because you're all creating and building product that you need people to buy. You can't cash out until that buyer, a ready, willing, able buyer, is wanting to buy what you've just created. And I'm assuming here that you want to do that as soon as possible. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So what happens is that everything is different today. And the buyer today finds their own property online. I'm going to say it again. The buyer finds their own property online. Back in 1996, the realtor had that power over the buyer, and even a listing, or even a homeowner that wants to sell. But they had that, it was a power position because the realtor controlled the information. And now today, the realtor has no power in that. They don't control the information. That doesn't eliminate the realtor's job, but it makes the nature of their job different now. And it's important for you to understand these things first, because what we're going to go is I'm going to teach you a marketing system. But you'll have to know how to work with your realtor to tell them and observe and watch what they're doing so that you know, you're better educated yourself, so you know how to manage them, just like any other trade or any other contractor. Okay? Now, so the realtor doesn't know that right there. The first showing takes place online. What they, remember, they kind of think a little bit beyond, in 1996 terms, but the buyer is finding their own property. They still want the real estate agent, but they want the real estate agent to do different things for them. They want the real estate agent to be a consultant through the whole process, help them negotiate, help them with the whole, help them maneuver through all the ups and downs and the crazy process that it is to put a contract on a home, get finance for it, and close on it. It's complex, it's stressful for a lot of home buyers. So that's what they want the realtor for. They need help through that. But they want to find their own property. Even, and another thing, let's go sidetrack. If you have a buyer right now, if you're a real estate agent, what's happening today is that even if you're sending listings to your client through the MLS, that client is still not really paying attention to those. They'll go to Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com or Redfin. They're going to pick one of those sites and they stick with it. And that's where they get all their information from. And many times the information is incorrect, old, outdated, and stuff, but then they still go back. They'll continue to go back. And the realtor will tell them 100 times, that data's kind of old and it's not good anymore. And the buyer's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm still going there. Because they're in control. They're in control. Is anyone here going to take a vacation in the next 3 to 4 months? Fly anywhere? Who's going to fly somewhere? All right, for you. Where are you going to fly to? Dublin? Oh, shit. all right, now let me ask you this. How are you buying your airplane tickets? Online, right? Would you want to go back to going through, let's pretend you kind of look like you would be on the travel agent. I'm not complimentary way. So let's say, would you want to go back? Would you go back and be like, fuck, I can't buy tickets online, so I'm just going to have to go call a travel agent and buy your tickets that way? And the travel agent were to tell you, yeah, I can get you a flight to Dublin for like $10,000. And then, you're not going to do that, right? Probably not. So once the home buyer now has that power, they can search and not just find the properties, they can find all sorts of other information. They can find information about pricing in the neighborhood, closed sales, school information, tax information, all that in data is available to them now. So the real estate agent doesn't like that. And if you talk to a lot of real estate agents, they have an animosity and almost a slight anger over Zillow and Trulia. Okay, they don't like what they do because they don't like being out-positioned and outmaneuvered by Zillow and Trulia. And again, they'll send their listings from the MLS to them, but the buyer still will not pay attention to those. They want to find their own properties. So the funnel has changed now with how a buyer finds the property. The buyer today will find a property on their own via their mobile device or laptop computer. They're searching on their way to work, when they're driving or on the bus. They're searching when they're at work. They're searching when they're making dinner. But they're doing their own search and they're in control, and that's not going to stop. So let's go to that next slide. So if we know that's what's taking place, that the buyer is doing that today, then we have to play into that. And you're in a real estate game right now. And right now, the market that you are practicing real estate in and being an investor in is a much different place than it was 10 years ago. And there is going to be another change. After the next presidential election, we'll see what happens with everything. But money's too cheap right now. But when that change happens, each one person in this room will have to change their business and flex into what comes next. That's cool. That's part of what being in the real estate game is all about. But this is not going to change. buyers are still going to want to find their own homes. So, just like any good business person, we learn what the industry, what's happening in the industry, what's happening to buyers, and we play into it. So, number one, the first lesson in marketing is this. Marketing cannot sell anything. Marketing creates awareness. It cannot sell your overpriced house. If you did a shitty rehab and it's just poor, okay, you're not going to be able to convince a buyer that this is great. All right, it can't fix a bad thing. Marketing is about creating awareness, letting people know what's going on here, but it can't fix your fuck up. It can't fix a bad design. And that's one of the things that not just rehabbers, but rehabbers, even real estate agents are afraid to tell sometimes their homeowners that are selling their houses about things that should be fixed in that house. Okay, sometimes you have to tell them you got to take that pink carpet out of the bathroom. You got to repaint your purple rain walls. You know, these are things that realtors sometimes don't say to their clients. All right, next slide. That's it. That's all marketing is. And as a real estate investor, you must know this. You must know this. You must believe it, because that's all it is. Again, there's no secret sauces. There's no magic fairy dust. I'm not some freaking marketing guru that just has this secret plan and like I'm going to give it to you for $997 at the end of the class. You know, that's not, this is all it is. And it's simple. Next slide. This is the plan. We have 3 stages. We have our pre-marketing, pre-MLS stage. Then the next stage is MLS, ready to go. And then we have our post 30-day review, or during 30-day review. Okay? 3 simple stages. I like to keep everything very simple. And in marketing a rehab today, it's a very simple system. Next slide, please. Now, what I'm going to do is there's a lot of information on these next 2 slides because it's step by step. I'll put these on a PDF for you this week and I'll send it to Josh so that he can email it to you guys and then you guys can take it. The only thing that you got to do for me is that if you fucking use it and it rocks, you just say, that was George Cuevas' shit. All right, so stage 1 in pre-market. Remember where we started. I know that the buyers are online searching. So that means that I got to play into that and I need to give them what they want. So first step is we're going to take photos. We take pre-construction photos of the property. A decent photo for the front, and then whatever's going on in the inside, once construction starts, that's what I'm going to photograph. Now, if you're a rehabber and you've already got a certain type of color palette that you're putting into most of your homes, similar types of features, similar types of color patterns and all that kind of stuff, we'll put some of those pictures in there as well. But we're going to mark those pictures and you'll see examples of that so that people know when they're seeing it online that this is not the actual house yet. Then we have to set up a single property website. Once we set up a single property website, we manually upload the listing data into Zillow. And then from Zillow now, it goes directly into Trulia. Now, the reason why Zillow and Trulia are such important pieces to this whole puzzle is because Zillow is the #1 website for real estate search in the country. They get about 40 million hits, individual hits per month on their website. And now they own Trulia. So all the Trulia listings are now Zillow listings. It's just a different website. So when you upload your data into Zillow, that data funnels down into Trulia. And the other important thing here is that we can control it. They give us the opportunity to be able to upload our own pictures, upload our own call to actions in the listing description, upload backlinks so that I can send them back to that single property website. It's a beautiful circle of life that takes place right there. So next, we make a pre-construction video with the rehabber in it. That gets uploaded to YouTube and that also becomes part of that single property website. The next step is we put a sign post. Do not let your realtor use an H-frame for a real estate sign. The universal sign that everyone in the world knows that means that a house is for sale is a post. And realtors use H-frames because they're cheaper. But the universal sign for a house for sale is the post. People expect that. My 10-year-old nephew's never bought or sold a house before, but he fucking knows that when he sees the post in the yard, it's for sale. We all know that. It's a post. And on that post, we put a rider. A red rider that simply says, coming soon. It's very simple. And then we put a flyer box on that post, and in that flyer box, we create a flyer. That really just says all the information about the house, pre-construction. It's going to have these features, okay? And contact information for the agent. And the flyer box is important because we know from the Zillow, Truly, and all the rest of the online searches that buyers do drive-bys on properties. They will look for properties online, and many times before they've told the realtor or made contact with the agent, they are doing the drive-by on the house. So every opportunity that I can to let the whole world know what's going on here in an effective manner, that's what I'm going to do, or that's what we want the agent to be doing. Next, we have to prepare the agent to build relationships. Most agents want the phone call to come in of a ready, willing, capable buyer that's got a pre-approval in their hand and ready to buy. And so many agents will simply, if the buyer is not ready for that, they drop the call. They say, are you pre-approved yet? That's the first question that comes out of their mouth when someone calls them. Are you pre-approved? No? You want to call my guy? Oh, no, I don't want to really go yet, but I'm looking, you know. Okay, well, call me when you're ready. And that's a little exaggerated, but that's what happens with so many agents. They want the buyer to be ready to buy right now. And their job isn't like that anymore. Their job is to build the relationship. Their job is to start talking to them, find out what their needs are. It's fucking just being a human being. And that's what the realtor wants to do. So making sure that the agent is prepared to take in those calls and be able to talk like a human being instead of a salesperson. Next is the listing agreement. For a real estate agent to have legal authority to sell any piece of property, they have to have a listing agreement. That listing agreement will be signed off between you and him or her, and then it has to be post-dated for the MLS. We can't put the property on the MLS for one single reason. The more time that your property is on the MLS, the value starts to drop. That's just the way things are. And anyone that's put a property in the market that hasn't sold in 3 months has felt that pain of having to watch your property drop in value. That's why we don't do it. Zillow and Truly doesn't have that same kind of effect. And number 9, I'm a big believer in these, is the home warranties. The home warranties are something that work for buyers. And it's part that goes into establishing your brand and how you stand behind your product. It makes the buyer feel comfortable. Now, if you do an HWA warranty, the real estate agent will get a $70 kickback from HWA. You tell the real estate agent that you're not taking that kickback, just charge me the $420 or $30, whatever it is. And then that way you save the $70. It's not a lot, but you're always trying to save a buck. That's our pre-marketing stage. All that stuff happens in pre-marketing. From the day we start construction to the day we do the construction clean and we're ready to go on to the MLS. All right? Does that make now before we go to stage 2, is there anybody that is not tracking or have a quick question about it right now? Yes, sir.
Number 2 is a single property website. Can you say again what it is?
The single property website should be on one web page. I'm going to show you an example of one, but part of all this stuff is getting the realtor up to speed with 2016. So we got to get them to have a Zillow Trulia profile, and we need to have them have an ability to create a one-page website that's all about just that property. So that when somebody lands there, what's going to happen is there's going to be traffic from Zillow and Trulia that's going to come back to that website. And when it gets back to that website, I need it to be exactly everything that potential buyer wants to see about only that property. It has that contact information, pictures, description, all the things that are going to be in the house, and a nice big picture of the agent.
So like
I can answer.
Hang on.
123mainstreet.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the web address, the actual domain name doesn't matter. What I would use, once I start working with the agent, I'll tell the agent, let's figure out what your website situation is first, and then what we do is usually I tell them to use WordPress, and off of WordPress we can create very, very simple templates that are already pre-built into it, and then they can just create a new page after page after page after page. Okay?
I
And then-
can answer that question. Instapage has several real estate related, that all you just have to do is just throw a photo in and throw the description in. And
Right. Yeah, and it's beautiful.
It's
They're-
easy.
Right.
It takes 10 minutes.
And thank you for that. That's the really cool thing about today, is that we're in like this information technology 2016 world now. And the technology can't really hold anybody back. Like there's no more excuse for it, because there's stuff like what you just talked about. The tools that are available to us today to be able to do this stuff, to communicate online, you don't have to have any kind of tech skills, like that thing you were just talking about. If you know how to point and click and upload a photo, you can do any of this stuff. It definitely a realtor can. Yes, ma'am?
Is anyone, are other people other than realtors able to upload things to Zillow?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
You do have to set up a profile on there, but you can sell for sale by owner on there. Yes, sir.
What's your thoughts on post-its?
I would say not to use Postlets and go directly to Zillow.
They just
Zillow
got-
actually owns Postlets.
They just got bought from Zillow, and now they convert everything from Postlets when directly
Yeah,
to Zillow.
yeah. So they own Postlets right now. It was part of the whole Trulia merger, but I would just. It's much better to upload directly into where people are going to, which is Zillow, and that way we can control everything from there.
And the problem with Postlets is now that Zillow and them own it, they also use their estimators, and their estimators are always
Right.
wrong.
And like I said, there's no. It's
Yeah.
much better just go direct to Zillow.
Go direct.
Yeah, Zillow is your friend, and Trulia is your friend. And I got sidetracked there, but on the Zillow Trulia thing, Zillow gets 40 million hits per month on their website. Trulia gets 34 million individual hits per month on their website. That's number one and number two, and Zillow owns Trulia. Number three is Yahoo Real Estate. Yahoo Real Estate is at about 30 million hits per month on their website. And all the listings on Yahoo Real Estate come from Zillow. Then number four is Realtor.com. Realtor.com's at 14 million hits per month on their website. So just looking at the top four, 1, 2, and 3 are all controlled by Zillow. And it's like 70 some million hits, individual hits are going to those websites. And then you get Realtor.com, which it doesn't even, I mean, it's still impressive at like total 14 million, but not even close to those guys. Then we got Homes.com, Redfin, and a few others. But the only ones we can control our data is on Zillow and Trulia, and they just so happen to be number one and number two. And once we're on Zillow, that information syndicates over to Yahoo Homes. So now we're really covered on 1, 2, and 3, which is what we want to have happen. Any other questions? Can we go to stage 2? Yes?
For the video, do you just do like a walkthrough, you explain what it is that you're gonna do? Or, we're gonna knock down this wall, kind of just.
Mhm. Yeah, the key here, and I'm going to show you an example, is to introduce yourself to the buyer. The more personal that you can make it be, that like you're the person that's putting this project together, and now you can introduce that to your buyer, and your realtor can be in there too, whichever works out best. But now we can put a human face on it. And it really is just a little bit about, yeah, here's a little bit here what's going to go on here, here's a little bit what's going to go on here. If you got any more questions, give me a call. So it's very non-salesy, more just like, this is what's going on. Sort of like just a flip this house type of show. Okay? All right, y'all ready for stage 2?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so now after the construction clean, now we have to do professional photos and video. Now, in full disclosure, okay, that's part of my business, is what I do. And I'm not telling you this so that I can fucking get more business out of you. I'm not here to get money out of you or drain anything like that from you. But one way or the other, I don't care who you use, you do have to purchase professional photography. Now, how you pay for it, that's a whole other thing. Whether you get your realtor to pay for it, or you're paying for it, or whatever, but you do need professional photos. Remember what we said right in the beginning. Buyers are going online first to view the property. That means if the first showing is taking place online, we have to deliver an experience to the buyer so they can see that property, and they can see all the beautiful fucking work you did to it. Because if they can't see it, who can see it then? We have to show that to the world. We have to let people see it. The first showing takes place online, so online is where you have to be. And furthermore, it can't be just 12 photos. We want to get, if you have a great looking house, and you did crown molding everywhere and stainless steel appliances and marble tops and all that, all the bells and whistles, that means that's multiple kitchen shots, not just one. You want some close-up shots. If you did all the upgrades to the bathroom, you want multiple shots of that. Show it off. Let people actually experience and see it. Then we do a video, and we take those now, and we update that website that we created in stage 1. So we upload all our new photos, we change around our description, because now we're going from pre-marketing to marketing. Then on the MLS, your realtor, we have to make another page that's non-branded. The MLS will not allow you to put anything branding-wise on the MLS. Again, it's an old school rule from 20 years ago. And because they don't let that happen, which is really ridiculous, we have to create another page to be a non-branded. So now we have 2 website pages. Then we update our Zillow and Trulia with the new photos and new listing description. Our link should stay the same because our link for our virtual tour link is, all we're doing is just updating that. And now we've got it updated there. Now our video, we have 2 videos. We have a non-branded video and a branded video. That non-branded video can't be on YouTube because it can't be anywhere tied to the real estate agent, so that we have to put on Vimeo. Vimeo is really cheap and we can put it on there. And then our branded video goes either on your YouTube channel page or the realtor's YouTube channel page. And most of the times the rehabber decides depending on who's paying for it. And whoever's paying for it should get to put the video on their YouTube. The reason why YouTube becomes important is because number 1, it's a search platform. There are buyers looking for properties on YouTube. YouTube is the world's 2nd largest search engine and it's owned by Google. And when people put a property in YouTube, they go search by this: homes for sale in Orland Park, homes for sale in Naperville, homes for sale in Northbrook. That's how they search. They don't type the fucking address. Most real estate agents put the whole address in the title, and that's the very first thing that Google uses to figure out what this video is all about. So you have to help the search engine help you. Help me help you, that kind of thing. So once we get the video up on YouTube, we then take our sign rider that says coming soon, and we replace it with something like brand new, you know, just on the market, that sort of thing. A nice, beautiful, shiny red rider. We create new real estate flyers, we load those back into the box, and on the very first week is when your open house takes place. The best time to sell your property is always within the first 2 weeks. It always is. That's the way it rolls. And so if we're going to do an open house, we do it that first week. The open house will not sell your house. The open house is really for the agent. If you're working with a good agent, then he hustles. And if he hustles, he's going to have a team and he's going to want somebody to be working that open house because that's an opportunity for him or her. And if him or her are not looking for opportunities to make more money and grow their business, then you have to start thinking about what kind of realtor am I working with? Is he just with me to get my deals? Okay? But the only time you do open houses is in week 1. Open houses cannot sell houses. And then, you know, we update the HLA warranty, and then we got the staging thing. How many of you guys stage and how many don't stage at all? Anybody? Okay, good. So most of you, all you guys, so everyone knows the importance of staging and everything else, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. There still are a lot of rehabbers that don't stage, and even there's realtors that sell homes that their clients that are not rehabs, but could be like not foreclosure property, but could be something like estate sale or whatever, and many times they're empty. It does work. You have to help the buyer visualize what it's like to live in the home, and they can't tell how big room sizes are without the staging. When we talk about kitchens and bathrooms, if you've just done a gut job and you really prettied up and put some nice features in there, if you don't put those fruit bowls and cookbooks and all that kind of stuff in there, that pulls the colors out. And that helps the people visualize it. You know what it looks like because you built it, but buyers can't see what you see. And then number 11, the final thing again is agent prep. The agent has to be ready to know how to talk to the people that are looking at it. The agent's job today is not to sell the house. The agent's job is to try to put a deal together. Sometimes the person on the other end of the deal is a crazy realtor. But your agent has to know how to deal with that crazy realtor. Has to have the patience and the courtesy and the understanding that it doesn't matter how crazy that fucking realtor is. I have to put a deal together. That's the way, that's the mentality in the game that your agent has to play. So you got to make sure they're ready for that. Because sometimes it's just asking the right question to the other side on what they want or what they need. And that's all the difference that it takes to get that house sold. All right, go to stage number 3. All right, so we said that the best time to sell a house is within the first 2 weeks. Then after that, we have to start taking an analysis. And the one cool thing about today is that we have a lot of data available to us once we start marketing the house. And the data does not lie. It never lies. It always tells a story. So within the first 15 days, we have to do a review. Number 1 is we go to the MLS. On the MLS, we're going to do a reverse prospect. The realtor has access to it. The reverse prospect is going to show us how many buyers agents have buyers that are searching within that area. It's just a small number that it can tell us, but it helps pry open the door into what's going on with your listing on the market. Number 2, I can go to do my Zillow and Trulia, and they track stats too. I can see how many searches are taking place within the zip code and how many times my listing, your listing, has been clicked. Again, it's just a barometer, and it shows me a little bit into what's happening with the listing. If I see a lot of clicks, if I see a lot of people marking interested on the MLS, and a lot of clicks on Trulia and Zillow, but I've got no offers after 15 days, then you put on this, everyone know who Nancy Drew was? You know, all those books and stuff? You got to put a Nancy Drew hat on, and you got to start figuring it out. Number 2 is extremely important. 3 times already, we talk about the agent prep, making sure your agent is ready. We have to get showing feedback. It's so crucial. It's intelligence. If we don't have that showing feedback, then when we get to 15 days, 30 days, and we don't know where the fuck our offer is at, you start to get nervous and you start to sweat. And you start to wonder what's going on. Well, the realtor, we need this. We need the data. So the showing feedback is crucial. The best way to set that up is that the realtor, they're all different about it, is that they should talk to every realtor that's going to show that property. And all they have to do is just, when they set that showing up, they let them know about all things going on in the lockbox code and all this stuff, but they tell them, hey, I'm going to give you a call after your showing just to see what your client had to say about it. That's it. You set it up. The agent has to set that up. But that intel becomes important. My girlfriend's a RE/MAX agent in Orland Park. She's got a new rehab listing. She staged it herself, and there's a cemetery in the backyard. And it's a ranch house, and it doesn't have much room for a kitchen table in the living room. It's sort of like one room. And it's very tight quarters. Okay, rehab, but it's just got some tight quarters there, and you got this fucking cemetery. So then what happens is that she's getting all the buyer feedback. And if we're going to go back, like, she's got a contract on it now, but if she has to go back to the rehabber and say, hey, if all the agent's going to say to you is like, I'm just not getting an offer, I got to drop the price. That's not good enough in an answer. I need the data. You want that data. You want the analysis. Because then you should be able to have a good, comfortable feeling in your stomach that, yeah, I'm lowering it $5,000, I'm lowering it $10,000, but that's what the market is saying. So getting that feedback is crucial, and that's all about agent prep. Making sure the agent is doing that as part of it's really part of their job, but a lot of agents don't get that. Yes, sir.
I was just going to mention about the feedback part.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of agents choose not to use the showing assistant.
Yep.
And anybody that has a realtor, tell them to use the showing assistant, because it has an automatic email thing that keeps emailing them until they answer.
Yeah, and the showing assist can help, and then so what he was talking about is on the MLS, we actually have a built-in system for that. and this is what we're talking about. Realtors don't use a lot of these tools.
No, they don't.
And so it's just what happens. But the realtor still needs to be asking for it too. It's the best way to get the feedback. When you can talk to the other agent and you guys are talking mano a mano and you're talking the same language. But that intel, we take that showing feedback, we mix it up with our MLS and Zillow Trulia feedback, and that helps us tell the story of why our house is not selling. And that becomes important because most of the times, especially in this market, it's going to be price. But if we have to lower the price, we should know that in a more mathematical, intelligent, freaking way. All right, so we use those stats to determine where our price needs to be. And then price adjustments are usually only made every 2 weeks. And we want to stagger them out. It's just every situation is going to be different, but when you do have to make those price drops, you want to be strategic about it. You don't just want to do a price drop to do a price drop. And sometimes it just needs to be on the market a couple more weeks. You know, like what's going to happen is that when we see the stats and we hear the feedback, that's what's going to give you the right direction and where to go. And then, again, the market, it just doesn't lie. The stats, what the feedback tell us, it does not lie. Hopefully we sell it within 30 days, but if we don't sell within 30 days, it is going to drop in value. That is just the reality of what happens. But if it's going to drop in value, we want to know where it's going to drop. We have to determine where the bottom is. A good real estate agent is going to have a very good commanding understanding of what's happening within the local market. They should be tracking all the closed sales. They should be tracking what's gone contingent in the last 30 days since you guys have gone on the market. They need to be tracking all that data, and every time something closes or going to contract, they have to go into it and they have to see how many days was on the market. They have to look at the pictures, read the description, and be able to tell that story of why this house sold before mine sold. And the data never ever lies. So this is how we sell a house today. We use the internet, we use online marketing techniques, because that is where the buyers are at. If the buyers weren't there, we'd be talking about something else. But that's where the buyers are at. And this information is so that this can help you in how you manage your agents. Okay, I'm not a real estate agent anymore, so I'm not trying to get your listings. I don't want them. But this is to help you manage them. The more information that you have, and everything more that you know, it only makes you into a better real estate investor. Think about all the things that you had to learn getting into this business. How many people, when it comes to the sales and marketing part, don't feel as comfortable with that part of it as they do managing the trades and the contractors? A couple people? Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple examples now. We talked about this stuff, but I want you guys to see examples of what it looks like in real world. So we'll put up a couple examples here. All right, so what we got here is a pretty simple single-page website. It has a picture, it has the information. This one here, I believe, is a non-branded one. So this is one that we would put on the MLS for the property. Okay, so this is not, this wouldn't be part of the pre-listing thing. This is part of post-MLS. And so we got nice pictures, we have the video, but all the information within this page, it's mobile friendly, so everything there is set up so that it can make a nice experience for whomever the buyer is.
You say that brand is just no watermark? Is that what you-
Yeah, they can't. When it's on the MLS, there can't be any branding tied to the agent whatsoever. So it's part of the rules that they have. So this will be just a non-branded page. And then the internet's kind of slow here, so.
With that lack of branding, can the web address be like your company or?
No, it can't be your company. So this has to be on a separate domain. So, like for example, like what I have is I have a separate domain, just my website reversed, and that's what I use for the listings that I'm marketing. But like for an agent, what they would want to do is set up like a separate domain. Just call it houses for sale. House for sale can be available, but like Chicago, Chicago RRR real estate, something like that. It doesn't have to be. It just can't be your company name for the non-branded stuff. Everything has to be a black hole in terms of getting back to you.
Play the video.
We're in Burlington, and I just want to show you my.
All right, so this one is a pre-construction one we're going to see.
Rehab project. It's been gutted from top to bottom, new addition, and I just want to show you what's inside. It's almost there, so let's take a look. We are here in the living room where we knocked down a couple walls. We have brand new hardwood floors. We have new can lighting throughout. We have brand new windows. And I want to show you what we did to the kitchen. Come follow me. We're in the kitchen now where we have marble granite countertops. We have subway tile. We have brand new fancy cabinets, gray, which I love. Stainless steel appliances. They'll be here tomorrow, and I'm so excited about that. I'm on the second floor now where we add an addition. We have really high ceilings. We have natural light here. There's large closets. One is a walk-in closet. There's a bathroom with double vanity bowl. And then we also have laundry facility on the second floor.
So that's just a simple pre-construction video that goes on the single property website. And then if we could tap in those pictures.
Hey George, did you guys do that extra video? Or?
Yeah, I did the video for her. And this is Maria Munoz. So,
I know Maria.
all right, so this one here, so Maria brought me there like 3 weeks ago. We photographed it, we shot the video. The construction, she's still finishing up the last stages of the property right now. As soon as we did it, we put it on Zillow and Trulia, and she did secure a buyer from it. So it's not the MLS.
Is that scripted or is that just?
We just kind of go, it's partly scripted, partly on the cuff. She's pretty confident with herself, and she's made videos before, so she just kind of rolls with it. And that's the most important thing, is that it's not too scripted, not too professionally, because that's not what people want to see when they're online. They want to see like a real person.
When you say we, who? Your company or?
Well, if I'm making the video for an agent, I want them to be as real as possible. I'm not going to let them talk too salesy, and if they want to talk salesy, I just won't film it.
That's what you do. How much do you charge for your service?
Yeah, when we pre-market a property, we charge $300. So the $300 is the pre-market video and the photos, and then we come back to do the final photos and the final video, and then we do like the Zillow Trulia stuff in these pages.
Was she on a green screen with her videos?
No, that's in the house.
It looked like it was green screen.
I know. It's you know, on the camera we're using is a DSLR camera, and the DSLR camera is a wonderful tool, but it does pictures and video. And when you're taking those videos like that, it sort of focuses in on the subject, and it does. It looks like it's a fake background, but we were in the house that day filming it.
Cool.
And then, yes, sir.
How pre-construction would you
Well,
go?
It just depends. Like I liked starting it right from the beginning, and give the more time that you can have on Zillow and Trulia is always better. In this case,
Would you do an interior if it's already gutted?
Yeah, I would. I just wouldn't show as many pictures. You roll with what you got to work with. So like if you did have a previous project, like with Maria, I worked with her in the past, but I haven't worked with her in a while. So this is the first one I've done with her in a while. I didn't have any photos of the last. The only photos I had was of her first rehab project, and that was nowhere near what this one's going to be. So there was going to be, if we have good photos of a previous project, I'll put those in there. But then you can see that those words there, we put under construction in the corner. We add that little thing on there, and if we show like a previous piece of work that you did, then we put the same kind of thing, but previous project. Just so we're disclosing and we're being totally transparent and open that this isn't this house, but this is something that I did, the rehabber did. So you want to kind of showcase that work. Yes, sir.
How do you feel of posting videos like that, for example, if you didn't pull permits?
Well,
it's kind of tricky, right?
You kind of answer your own question.
What was the question?
Too late.
If you do it in city of Chicago, they're going to find out. They're going to find out. And every town always, you might get away with it one time, but every time I hear a rehabber do that, they always get caught. It's just guaranteed.
Most of the time.
Oh, what was that? Oh, Boyd, can you say your question again for everybody?
Say it on the
Because
mic.
you have to say it.
Yeah.
Say it nice and loud. It's a good teaching experience.
I did
Say your name is Boyan.
I asked him how he feels of, having those videos online if he didn't pull permits.
And I just said he answered his own question.
What's your home address? So the city of Chicago knows where you live.
Yes, sir. And the title of the video? On this one, it should be Homes for Sale in Berwyn. So that's where this house was. So every time on YouTube, that's the key thing, is you have to help YouTube find the video. If you want more people to watch it and see it, you have to help them do it. And that is like, so we get into key terms and keywords. And so what everyone's always searching for is exactly that. Homes for sale, and in this case, Berwyn. Berwyn's one of those areas where there's no inventory right now, and people that live in Berwyn love living in Berwyn. They feel part of the community. And then there's people that are looking to move into Berwyn, they want to be part of it. So that's where, in situations like that, the pre-marketing is going to help out a lot. There's going to be some situations where you've just got a market where it's just not as attractive, you know. If you're like in Bridgeview, Bridgeview's a lot tougher. And we don't have people wanting to go move into Bridgeview and stuff like they do in Berwyn. So you roll with whatever the market factors are for where the property's located.
Overview of the neighborhood sort of in the video too.
You could. That's the cool thing about it. You can go far with it, but you don't have to go much farther than this. But yeah, you could roll a lot of different ways with it. Yes, sir.
Do you update, do you replace the pictures on Zillow and video?
Yep,
Do you
yeah.
not keep the old ones?
No, we take those down and replace them with all the new ones.
Okay.
So your service is more like a package. You provide all that for a particular client, and they have like different charges, or is it just one?
Just like one, keep it real simple. So like if we do a marketing project, 300. And then, and then sometimes there's some realtors I do it for where it's only photos, no videos. And then we do it it's half, so it's 150. So just keep it really, really simple and try to keep the
Are you
price.
also building for them the single page website, or?
If it's just photos, we're just doing the photos. Usually I do the single property website. I usually do it all together as a package, so it's the full marketing thing. So I'm usually trying to push people to go through that, because that ultimately is better. And it's better for the realtor in the long run. You kind of want the realtor doing this stuff, because whatever helps his business or her business should, in theory, help yours. The more successful they are. That means that they can leverage more of their time, leverage more of their money to improve their service. That's the way it's supposed to work. And yes, sir?
What would branded pictures look like?
I can show you one. Okay. There's one here for the George Wyatt house.
Which one?
Oh yeah, that one right there. It's got some. So like on the branded one, we don't have to add that text to it anymore, because now we got the finished product. So like on a branded one, we're just going to use regular photos. We don't have to put under construction or like or example of a previous project or any kind of language like that on the photo. But we're going to want to show nice, pretty photos and as many that the house needs. So if the house has a lot of features, that's basically going to mean there should be more photos. If it's like a simple one-bedroom condo, then you're not going to be able to get as many shots. But if it's a 3-bed, 2.5 bath house with it's been completely gutted, there's going to be more shots to take, and that's what we have to let the buyer, give them the opportunity to be able to experience it online. Yes, sir. Are you?
I'm sorry, I'm new with this. Can you
Yeah.
define branded versus non-branded?
All right. So the branded. So what happens is that on the MLS. When a realtor puts their listing on the MLS, nothing on that listing can be tied to the real estate agent in terms of the pictures and the videos and outbound links. They give you a virtual tour outbound link. So when a buyer is looking at properties that's directly off the MLS, there's going to be a link and there's going to be basic information. But what happens is that the MLS controls who sees what, and they don't want a buyer to be looking at a property and see another agent listing it, because they're afraid that buyer is going to do an end run and go contact the agent. What they don't realize is that same buyer can just go to Zillow and figure it out. and that's why the MLS is it's not just our MLS, it's all MLSs in the country, is really about 10 years behind where they have to be.
And the non-branded, can a person actually be in the video?
Absolutely.
So for example, if I have my listing, can I be in my own video?
Yeah, there's a rehabber one here. If we pull-
Even on a non-branded
No,
one?
not on a non-brand, no, a branded one, I'm sorry, I thought you said, on a branded one, no, non-branded means there can't be anyone tied to it. There's no realtor, there's no rehabber, there's nobody.
Just be hiding in the closet?
Just on the branded one.
Hey, it's me.
You just put a paper mask on it. But yeah, I'm sorry, to mix up. So on the branded one, a branded one, yes. And you want to be on the branded one.
Voiceover on the video?
The what?
Voiceover?
Yeah.
The what?
Voice.
Oh, I would suggest not doing the voiceover unless you've got like a Vanna White or someone with a beautiful, beautiful voice. It just doesn't make any sense. You want it to be as real. You want to be as real as possible. If it's annoying and too salesy, people would just stop watching. So we're always concerned about the experience level of the buyer. And so what you do is, like for the real estate agent, you have to pull the real estate agent has to pull themselves out of the picture and make it more about the buyer instead of the realtor.
On the non-branded one, can we have somebody else present? Or like
No, there's nobody
no
in
people.
it. There could be a voice in there, but again, I would suggest not using a voiceover on it.
Got it.
But there can't be anyone, there's nobody, it can't tie back to the realtor, the rehabber, anybody.
But hire some actor, let's say.
No, you can't have anybody. There's nobody. Well, it's just, you just can't do it. And if you do it, the MLS does find out. And then they give you the notice, you gotta take it down, it's not worth it if no one can see it.
$100 fine.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, you're just playing, yeah.
I have a question back here.
Yep.
You mentioned something about mobile friendly. Are you optimizing these pages for mobile phones?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you have to. It's a good question because everything is mobile right now. And again, a lot of real estate agents don't have anything that's mobile. But any page has to fit on any kind of device. So we call that HTML5. All websites are coded with HTML5. That means that on whatever size device you're looking at, Android, iPhone, tablet, one of those Apple one or the Windows one, it'll fit on the screen. So everything has to be that way. More than likely, the buyers are going to be searching with a mobile device. Remember, the buyers are doing this on their own time, in between work, on the way to work, while they're cooking dinner. So you've got to make that experience nice for them. The reason why, when we talk about Zillow and Trulia, one of the reasons why buyers and sellers like it so much is because of the experience they get on the website. It provides them the data, a lot of data in a very clean fashion, and it's very easy to understand. And that's really, really, really important. So, any other questions? Are you guys going to start pre-marketing listing?
Yeah.
On the Maria Munoz one, I did tell you, it did work for her. It does not work on every listing. And remember, that's why we started right from the beginning. Marketing cannot help you sell your product. The product has to be priced right. The market conditions have to be right. All those things have to be right. This is not magic fairy dust or anything like that. It's just hardcore old school marketing, giving people what they want and communicating that in a very efficient, good manner. That's it. Yes, ma'am?
Is your information available?
It was on the last slide.
Yeah, I think I had it on the last slide.
You got flyers up front, right?
No, I don't. Yeah, but basically, if you look up real estate marketing and George Cuevas or anything, I pull up first on everything. But that's my website, so you can see.
You want us to contact you?
Sure. You absolutely can. But and then I'll send Josh all this information so that you guys can have it and be able to use it in your business. All right.